I'll call the meeting to order. Good evening, everyone. Why don't we take a roll call? And Martha's arriving at a propitious time, but why don't we start with you, Kim?
Aaron Sullivan.
Martha Strode.
Michael Wright.
Sheldon Coe.
Bob Paul.
And Andy Doctoroff. We have two people who might be arriving late. Okay, so we will welcome them when they arrive. The first substantive item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda for today. Hank, I understand there's an amendment. Do you want to speak to that?
Mr. Chairman, item 5 is deleted from this evening's agenda and revisited back in the September meetings.
Okay.
If it's the pleasure of the planning commission to approve it with that change, then the first order of business will be the proposed new site plan review.
Okay. So does anyone want to move to propose, to
Motion
approve
to-
the agenda as changed by Hank?
Motion to approve as amended.
Okay,
Second.
good. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Okay, it passes unanimously. We have our agenda.
Thank you.
And the first item for discussion is the matter of public hearing on the proposed zoo site plan review ordinance. Oh, I apologize.
Thank you.
We actually have to do the minutes. Does anyone have any comments or questions or concerns or revisions?
I do.
Okay, Kim?
On page 3, there were changes or questions regarding section 4355. Is it 43-55 or
Yes.
40-355?
43-55.
Okay, so throughout that page, it is noted as 40-355?
Yeah,
So as long as that gets changed. It's the only thing that I saw.
Anything else, folks? Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Oh, we're under the minutes.
I'm sorry. Okay, I drove really hard from Lansing tonight. That's what's going on. We're approving.
Minutes as amended.
Okay, is there a second for that motion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Okay, I apologize.
Thank you.
Next item really is the zoo site plan review ordinance, and I believe we have a presentation. Hank, do you want to set the table for this?
Actually, I'm gonna let
Or
Amy do
Amy?
that, yeah.
Sure.
The last time we met, there was discussion about how to incorporate a review of the zoo's master plan into the ordinance. The idea being that items that were included in the master plan that were animal habitat, food-related, or office-related would not need to go through a site plan review, assuming they're outside the buffer area, as long as the city knew ahead of time that these developments were gonna happen. So we put that language in paragraph 3 on the second page. And then indicated it in section 1, again reiterating that any construction outside of the animal habitat, outside of the buffer, if it's animal habitat, food, or office, would be exempt from the site plan review if it's in compliance and consistent with the zoo master plan. And we do have Paul from the zoo, if there are any questions. Otherwise, wait your discussion.
Okay, Hank, is there any action that's required of us tonight, or is this merely an update or review? Amy?
We are looking for a recommendation on an ordinance to send to the city commission.
Okay. Okay.
We actually need a motion second.
Okay. So I guess before we begin and ask you to present, sir, at the last time this was discussed 2 months ago, I believe, there was, I believe, a consensus, but as to our role, that we would be comfortable with being kept up to date through the master plan annually, yet everything outside that 150-foot strip along Huntington was not going to be something that we exercised direct control over unless we saw something in the master plan that bothered us. Is that an accurate summary of where we are, or am I misremembering? 120, okay.
If it's within the 120-foot buffer,
Mhm.
if there is any development other than a minor modification,
Right.
which is described in the ordinance,
Right.
it would come before the planning commission, with the idea being that that's what residents are gonna be able to see.
Right. And outside, we are hearing about the master plan on an annual basis, which is gonna keep us informed, and that was how we were threading the so-called needle.
That's right.
And this ordinance reflects that, I won't call it a compromise, but that's what I believe was a consensus at the last meeting. Is that your understanding as well?
Yes, if you take the giraffe exhibit site plan process that you went through recently, that would have been, if this ordinance was effective, would have been outside the buffer, because in the zoo's master plan, we would have been notified if they were expanding their exhibit, but it wouldn't have gone through the site plan review process because it has no impact on residents. They don't see it,
Right.
hear it, drainage, parking, et cetera.
Okay.
Still would have gone through the permitting process.
Which has been established, right?
Yes.
So do you want to say anything, sir, on behalf of
I
the zoo?
really don't have a
Okay.
presentation, other than we've, had at least two meetings. I'm sorry. Excuse me. We've had at least two sessions with, the mayor and the city manager, and we've quibbled about some things, and I guess quibbling is, I might not be rewarded for saying that. But we had some differences, and we discussed them, and we're at a place, I think, where, you know, we're not getting everything we want, but this is a compromise. And I think that's fine.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anything else to add?
No, that's it.
Okay.
You've got a process that you need to do.
Is there any member of the public who'd like to comment on this issue, the zoo ordinance? Okay, none. Public participation closed. And, Mr. Mayor, in light of what the representative from the zoo said, is there anything that you can say to inform the commission as to the talks and where you think things are?
I think we came down pretty close to what the intent of the planning commission was 2 meetings ago. I think this should be a good ordinance for the city and one that the zoo should work with as well.
Okay. And does anyone else have any comments amongst ourselves about the ordinance that we see based on your review of it, but also my characterization and Amy's confirmation that my recollection at least is correct as to the big picture? Aaron?
So, I feel like I'm confused.
Okay.
So when we entered this discussion 2 months ago, there was a buffer zone,
Mm-hmm.
and we had to review everything within that buffer zone. And if it wasn't in the buffer zone and it was in the yearly review, we were gonna say, okay, right? And we were discussing this because the last time the ordinance went forward, the city council said, no, we don't think this is appropriate, and to my recollection, Bob said 2 months ago, he thought the planning commission should not relieve all authority over review. And so there was a lot of discussion back and forth about whether or not we should have some site plan review or not have some site plan review. And I thought the final outcome of our agreement is that we wouldn't have a buffer zone, we'd have site plan review, but we'd only do it in so much as we care about the effect to the citizens of Huntington Woods. We weren't trying to say whether or not a giraffe exhibit was appropriate for giraffes.
Right.
Right?
Right.
We were only looking at it in terms of whether or not it was appropriate, it had an impact to the citizens of the city. And so I thought everybody left with the idea that we were gonna have site plan review over everything, but in a much limited scope. I thought that's what we agreed to 2 months ago, so when I saw this is an even more reduced scope than what we said wasn't enough the last time it went to the city commission. So I guess,
So
maybe I'm just completely confused about
and maybe
where
I'm
this
confused
went.
too, but here's my understanding, and because here's what I recall. My recollection is not as specific, not the same as yours. The buffer is kept intact. That doesn't change. Our same oversight standards would apply as they always have. But when it came to everything outside the buffer zone, beyond the 120 foot, we were going to, in lieu of reviewing everything closely and weighing in on whether the giraffe exhibit is appropriate, we would, in lieu of that, ask the zoo to come to us once a year with its master plan, and recognizing that the zoo and Huntington Woods are neighbors, operate in good faith. If we saw anything in the master plan that was presented to us that bothered us, that thought was inconsistent with the welfare, the health, or the safety of the neighborhood, we would engage in discussions based on what we saw in that master plan. And that was the compromise. I guess my question to Amy is, one, just so we're clear, is that an accurate recollection? And then two, if so, is that consensus as to where I thought we were reflected in this ordinance that you'd like us to recommend tonight?
Yes and yes.
Okay, so I'm not confused because that's how I read this as well, and that's how I remember what happened 2 months ago.
Yeah, I remember the buffer always being in place. There was never any discussion of eliminating it. It was more how to handle notification of development that was outside the buffer zone. And so we came up with the site plan review process, and there was discussion about, well, what should you be looking at when you were looking at the master plan? You were gonna look to see if there was any adverse impact on residents with any development that they were doing outside the buffer. Now, that's only with respect to animal habitat, office building, and food. If they are gonna do something out of the ordinary, like a biodigester again, then that would go through the site plan review process regardless of its placement, because that's something that's not, you characteristically would see at a zoo.
So with that, does any member of the panel have any further comments, questions, concerned about the proposed ordinance that is before us?
I concur with your recollection.
Thank you. Does anyone like a motion to recommend that the city council adopt the ordinance as presented to us and described to us tonight?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, so it's 5 to 1. 6 to 1. 6 to 1. Thank you for that. Thank you, sir. The next matter for discussion is the addition at 10-125 Vernon.
Mr. Chair, we do have a PowerPoint for this particular one as well, so we're just going to use it.
Okay.
Talking or minutes to wait.
Okay, great.
I'm sorry,
Do you wanna use the PowerPoint, or do you wanna speak first?
Oh, no, we can go with the PowerPoint, it's easy,
Okay.
just view it up there, and I can go right through the,
Alright, I'll give you the,
from the existing residence through, to what we are proposing.
you got it, Mo?
Got it, and there's a arrow. Got it, okay, thank you. Good evening. I'm Michael Ostrowski, the architect and construction manager for the Scrafanis who are here tonight. There's Elise and Tony. We're proposing a addition to the rear of this residence, which is located at 10125 Vernon. Built in the 1950s, the exterior elevation of painted brick and white aluminum and or vinyl siding and trim with an asphalt shingled roof. All eaves, fascia, flashing, gutters, and downspouts are white aluminum and or white vinyl. Windows are a combination of double hungs and casements. All window surrounds are encased in white aluminum of various dimensions. And as we go through the front and to the back of the elevation, which you can see here, there is a complete absence of second-story windows on the rear elevation. So what you're looking at here is the existing rear elevation. It is, mostly all brick with a vinyl sided enclosed porch. The existing rear aluminum and vinyl clad addition, which is right here, of approximately 126 square feet, has no specific information regarding its date of construction. The addition appears to be at a converted rear porch. Entrance from the residence requires walking through an existing room and is used as a family room and den. The flat roof is a combination single-ply asphalt and tar attached to the rear wall of the residence with a metal rail. There's also a single door which allows access to the roof area from the existing residence, which is right over here. The existing lot size is 6,250 square feet. Existing lot coverage or footprint is 1,245 square feet, which is 19.92%. The residence footprint is 679 square feet. The garage is 440 square feet. And the porch that you see here is 126 square feet. The allowable lot coverage or footprint gives us 1,875 square feet, which equals to 30%, and we have available 630 square feet to cover. The existing livable, usable floor area of 1,385 square feet, which is the first and the second floor. Maximum allowable floor area is 2,541.66. So we have an available floor area of 1,156.66 square feet. This shows the front elevation, which is aluminum and vinyl sided, as I mentioned, brick underneath this area and brick along this elevation. On the opposite side, again, a brick chimney, full brick elevation on this side. The proposed addition, we are looking at completely removing the existing rear aluminum and vinyl clad porch surround and deck. We are to excavate for a crawl space and construct a two-story addition. First floor to incorporate a rear entrance with covered porch, mudroom, family room, and kitchen. The second floor to include laundry area, master bedroom suite with walk-in closet and bathroom. The new lot coverage to be is 1,800.1 square feet, which equates to 29%. The residence will be 1,360.1 square feet, and the garage is 440 square feet. The new livable, usable floor area will be 2,534 square feet. Let's go to the, okay. These are the floor plans. This is the first floor, and this is the proposed second floor. We are tearing the back of the house off at this point and adding this area to the first floor. This will include relocating of the kitchen, family room, mudroom to the rear of the residence. The kitchen is now existing in this area. We are proposing to push it back over to here with a mudroom and a rear entrance and a family room over in this side. We will be converting the existing kitchen in this area into a butler's pantry. We will be enlarging the existing dining room and will create better traffic throughout the main level of the house. The second floor layout over on this side, we will redesign and enlarge bedroom closets, which will be included in this area. Here are the enlarged closet spaces. Incorporate a laundry area, and then design a master suite, including bathroom and walk-in closet. Here's the master bedroom. The walk-in closet is in this location, and the master bath will be over in this area. Going to the exterior, the design elements on the exterior will include continuation of brick on all sides of the addition, full brick on east and west elevations, lower half brick on rear elevation with upper half to match front elevation detailing. That will be right in this area. Here is the existing front elevation with the brick in the lower half with the upper half. Oh, is that me?
Yeah,
What did I hit?
you hit the blackout button.
My Deeds is our newest search database, searchable database for
Okay,
land
now
records,
everything's
and
going
it's free to search.
crazy.
You just look
I
at
think
page
our, I don't know that that's here.
I don't know if that was in here.
They doing that back there?
Yeah.
They're doing something to the laptop.
Thanks, Tony.
Is Tony back?
Yeah, it's
That's when half the staff is gone, because they're online,
go to lunch
do a
too.
rotation,
Here, Mike, hold on.
but, yeah.
No. No. It's on the computer, but it's not on there. There it is.
there it is.
Hey, Mike, zip through till you get back to where you were.
Okay. So going back to the design elements on the exterior, the materials, continuation of brick on all sides of the addition, full brick on east and west side elevations, lower half brick on rear elevation with upper half to match front elevation detailing. Removal of upper aluminum and vinyl siding and trim, and replacement with hardy plank, cementitious siding, and pre-primed spruce trim material on front and rear elevations. Standing seam metal roof on the rear porch and on west side box bay windows. Metal cornice cap on all exterior crown molding details. New windows and doors to have metal clad exteriors and trim. New second story windows on the rear elevation. All proposed new elevations have the same or upgraded materials in approximately the same proportions as the existing residence, as well as all trim, architectural detailing, matching painted brick and mortar, brick windowsills, eaves, overhangs, shingles, etc. Existing and new roof to receive new lifetime asphalt architectural shingles. The geometry of the addition, the existing front elevation, which is right here, this lower right hand corner, has been left intact except for the removal of the vinyl, aluminum, siding, shutters, and trim. We are replacing them with more substantial materials and an updated design incorporating paneling with bed mold detailing, crown molding, and a metal cornice cap. New properly sized shutters and brackets under the existing cantilevered second floor will also be added to present a more finished, appropriate, and balanced appearance, as well as maintaining the original style of the residence. Here are the brackets in these corners. This is the paneling, detailing, the new shutters in these locations. The south or rear elevation, which is above it in this location, has a lower half of masonry. The upper panel banding and siding match the front elevation's use of materials and detail. The rear-facing hip roof design, which is up in this area, which also matches the existing pitch ratio, balances our site with the adjacent properties, and allows for a contextual gradation of heights and proportioning of mass. A covered rear entrance in this area allows for a safer direct entry into the residence versus the side entrance which egressed onto the driveway. The west elevation, upper left-hand side, is echoing the existing residence in shape and material usage. It has been reduced in size so as not to compete with the original house, but to complement its form and mass. Even though it protrudes 2 feet, it is both narrower in width and lower in height. The gable roof pitches match, as do the masonry and window details. The east side elevation, which is the last one here, is to be constructed of masonry, save for the box bay window and prefab fireplace enclosures. The panel detailing will match the front and rear upper elevations, and it will be capped with metal standing seam roofing, which will match the rear porch. Again, all masonry details will be consistent with the original residence. Window sizes and locations were carefully and selectively positioned to balance each elevation, reduce wall massing, provide natural light to the interior of the residence with appropriate privacy, as well as provide the required means of egress for all proposed bedrooms. The proposed building with its addition is compatible in size and scale with existing buildings in the same neighborhood and does not exceed the floor area and lot coverage maximums that the city has established. The proposed roof line, pitch, and materials are compatible with existing buildings in the same neighborhood. The proposed building addition's finish is the same predominant material as the existing building. All elevations of the proposed addition have the same materials and approximately the same proportions and matching windows, trim, and architectural details of the existing building, providing a 360-degree building finish. The front yard complements the streetscape and enhances the neighborhood. The side yard allows light and air to the subject and adjoining properties, and the rear yard provides utilitarian space for the enjoyment of the occupants. The proposed building and its addition conforms to the general architectural scheme and design of the buildings in the neighborhood, yet does not duplicate the height, size, style, floor plans, colors, and other details to the extent that such building loses its custom-built appearance. We believe that we have met all the site plan review standards and respectfully ask for a site plan approval for this project. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Hank?
Thank you, sir. Basically, Mr. Ostrowski and I have talked several times through the process of getting here, as you can probably tell. Just want to point out that basically he is under the lot coverage, he is under the maximum house size, he meets all his front, side, and rear yard setbacks. It's just, the only thing that I would tell you is that most of the stuff is existing with no change, so I mean, that's absolutely within the scope of what is proposed. He's made an effort to go ahead and have the predominant materials displayed on the addition. There is some siding proposed. All the siding that's coming off is being replaced with a higher grade siding. The siding that's been proposed is to add architectural diversity to the materials, and it's not a significant amount as it relates to the rest of the structure, which Mr. Ostrowski has made brick. There really is not a whole lot else to say to this that Mr. Ostrowski hasn't covered, so what I'll do is, if you have any questions of myself or Mike, I'm sure that the two of us can answer them.
Thanks, Hank. Any public participation on this one? Anyone like to speak on this one? Okay, public participation closed. Kim?
I don't have any questions.
Aaron?
Just a clarification, I don't understand the front yard setback.
Yeah, that's supposed to be up one for the height of the addition at 24.6.
Oh,
That's supposed to be up one for the
Gotcha.
height of that.
okay.
He actually, what he did was, is that he kept the addition down from the original part.
Okay, no issue then, thank you.
Thank you.
David?
No questions.
Martha?
Come on, Mark. Come on.
So you're upgrading the siding, you decided what kind of siding it's?
Hardy
gonna be?
plank.
Oh, hardy plank,
Yes.
okay. And, somewhere here, I'm just a little surprised to see that you, popped out your addition a couple feet so that it can be seen from the front instead of actually having a setback behind so that it's hidden.
Well, we have plenty of room on that side, coming out 2 feet, plus that
Mhm.
gives us a full gable end
Gotcha.
that will match and echo the main gable end.
Right.
That'll also allow us to have, our roof line works very well, and we're able to control the drainage at that point.
Okay, yeah, well, I figured that it was popped out in order to do something with the roof line, it's not something we see real often. And, is there an air conditioning unit?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so, have you spoken with the neighbors
here
It's,
on the
it's in
side?
the existing spot, the same place.
Okay, all righty, that's all I had. Oh, and I did wanna say, thank you very much on behalf of homeowners, they're gonna have some egress on the second floor now. With
Yeah, yes,
windows.
right.
I can't imagine building a house without windows on the second floor, that's pretty scary, so. I'm sure they'll be relieved.
Jill?
You know what, I missed the whole presentation, so I'm gonna recuse
Okay.
myself on this one.
No questions, looks great.
Thanks.
No complaints whatsoever.
No questions, I just thank you for your, nice improvements on the front of the house.
Thank you very much. Does anyone wanna make a motion?
I move to approve.
Second?
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
You're not allowed.
I'm gonna abstain.
Okay, great. Okay, unanimously approved.
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is the house on Hendry, which is 8375. Yep.
You should note that the last member.
Okay. Yes. So noted.
Mr. Chairman, for the record on this, Mark from Magna Building Company, there was some stuff that I didn't have submitted. So what I did was, is that once I submitted it, I reviewed it and verified it, but I wasn't able to do that until this morning. Some of the information came in late Friday afternoon, but I didn't wanna hold him up on stuff that the planning commission might feel is inconsequential, because he'll comply with everything. So I just did want to make sure that you understood, where we were going with that, so.
So what specifically are you referring to?
Well, originally we had the lot coverage, but the lot coverage wasn't included, but, when you take a look at the lot coverage, that was on a survey that was mailed to me, and you do the subtraction and do the math, they're so far below the permitted 25% that while the 16.2 might not be exactly right, it's nowhere near gonna be the 25% that we would normally on lot coverage, we're sticklers for stuff, because we don't want it to go over on anything. It's a very large sizable lot, and as a result, they're also well under their maximum house. By well under, I mean they're under their maximum house size. So, having said that, I was able to verify that, the setbacks and that, so, if it's the pleasure of the planning commission, we'll let them go first, and then if there's any questions, we can perhaps tag team it and answer anything you might have.
Cool. Thank you, Hank. Sir?
Good evening. We previously, about a year ago, received approval for a much larger house, different, same design basically, but due to the budget, we had to scale it back. So we kept the intent of the original design on this, but we scaled it back, way back, to keep it within budget. All the same materials are being used as originally approved. We have asphalt shingles, we have a standing seam roof, a crawl space, a very small crawl space in the front. Previously, we were adding about coming across the front of the house and bumping the whole front of the house out. At this point, we're just bumping the dining room out.
I think they landed.
Or it could be something I ate.
So
they landed.
we scaled the whole thing way back to bring it back into a budget that's more affordable.
Anything else to add?
That's it.
Mr. Chairman, I do have some slides that I can show that might help explain a little bit about what's actually happening here, if it's okay.
Okay.
Okay, this is the front of the house as it sits right now. And basically what you have here is the center entrance colonial with the breezeway that attaches to the garage. This is the two-story entryway that if you take a look at today's guidelines, you wouldn't be able to build that. So that's one of the things here, the features that have. Now, so what have they done with this to bring it up to speed? They've actually taken this and they've taken it out of a center entrance standard colonial and they've modernized the architecture with the roof across the front of the house. They're using the hip roofs to bring it all together and to tie in the addition over the second floor over the garage. So as a result, instead of seeing the up, down, over, down, and then the garage where you have the breezeway, there's a more homogeneous flow of the building that goes through there. Hello?
I'm not surprised.
Just
Well, the lights flickered, so.
okay.
So we can just talk about it.
Why don't
Yeah,
we?
let's just talk to each other.
I think we're, okay, because we may be losing our life. So anyway, basically what it did too is that, there's also a, thank you. There's also a, compatibility thing. When they went with the hip roofs instead of the gable roofs, what it did was it brought the project more down to earth. The type of architecture with a more contemporary look and feel, the roof down is not so dominant because it was the gable and now it comes down, which makes the project seem a little less massive. The removal of the center entrance and two-story entrance is one of the guidelines, standard GG that you have, guideline GG in your guidelines for new houses and infill structures, says that you don't wanna have that as one of your options. So as a result, what they've done is they've split it up, they've lifted across the front, they have brick, they've added some different material, and there's also a projection, if you take a look at it on the back of it, hang on, I gotta do this the old-fashioned way. Where's the second one? If you take a look at what they've done is they've extended the dining room off the front of the house, and, this is one of those unique ones where the garage was already in front of the front door of the house, and now the front of the house will be in front of the garage. So actually, that brings that more into compliance with the standards and guidelines. The house takes on a very different look as far as the architecture from what it was to what it is now. So, again, the front elevation now is introducing standing seam metal roofs. They have a profile, they're using cedar lap siding, clear cedar lap siding on the addition that's over the garage portion of it. They're showing, brick veneer for the garage area and the front area, so it's continued and it looks like it's part of the original house. They're introducing clear cedar lap siding on the front of the house, and, they also did have, prefab metal panels next to the front door. So what they're doing is they're taking a pretty standard brick colonial and they're introducing more modern materials and more contemporary feel to the house. But that's what they've really done. And other than that, the reason it's here is obviously the addition can be seen from the front. They do have their 3-in-a-row rendering, which is on the PowerPoint, which I can't show you. But so if you take a look at it, you see what you have, it's an entirely different looking structure, but it's actually, for that type of structure, fairly well done. I mean, it's complete. It's got windows on the elevations except for the side. If you take a look at the elevations, excuse me, there's only one side that's kind of lacking the fenestration, and you'll see that that's gonna be the garage side. So, they typically show nothing in there as far as the garage, first floor elevation, except towards the back of the house. That's the only thing that they have. And then on the second floor, because the way the roof line cuts in, there's not a whole lot that they can get up on that. And then on the other side of the house where the chimney is, you see you obviously have the chimney, you've got a couple windows and windows at the front for architectural relief. So if you have any questions, I would do my best to answer them, without benefit of the PowerPoint, I'm sure that Mark would as well.
Thank you, Hank. Any public participation, or, yeah, any on this one? Okay, Mayor.
My only question would be on the fenestration on the two side elevations. Is there any way to add any additional ones?
I think a lot of people are probably having that concern, is my guess.
Yeah, that when we came through, I mean, there's opportunities to do that. I mean, in the front side, on the side elevation with the garage, you could add a similar window to what's already there proposed in the side of the garage and balance that out quite a bit. The top portion of it is really kind of hard to get anything into it other than what they've done, and they have a couple at the top. But the bottom, that could be handled, and then on the other side, you've got windows on each side of the chimney and fenestration up towards the front. So, I mean, there's architectural relief, but I mean, that was one of the things that you might wanna mention and see if they would like to go ahead and introduce that feature.
Sir, before the conversation goes on, just as you listen to others, I think it's probably gonna be good for you to consider adding additional windows on both the right and left side elevations, because it really does not, at least in my personal view, comply with the rule that it's gotta be well fenestrated.
Here's the front of the house. Here's the front.
But
This is the
with that, I'll move on to Sheldon.
There's a window there.
There is a window that's not drawn on the drawing as we're looking at it.
So this right
Towards the
side.
front of the garage, there's actually two windows there. The one is not drawn on there for some reason, I don't know why.
Yeah, this right side elevation that's showing the garage, which is the
Right side
the right side elevation listed, but it's the west side of the house. There actually is a window there. I don't know why it's not drawn, but there is a window right there on that one that already exists and will stay the same. I mean, there'll be a window there.
Towards the front.
Towards the front, exactly. And then,
Is it the same size, 32 by 60?
Yes.
Where is it in proportion?
You wanna come and point it out right here, maybe, so we can just see it?
I mean, I don't know how many.
Yeah, but just
No,
generally.
Yeah, it's like right in this area.
I think we
Okay.
talked about this the last time you were here.
Right.
The last time, though, the garage was being extended further out.
Yeah, last time the garage was going.
But we're not extending the garage this time.
But now the garage is staying the same.
Okay, so there is one additional window, okay, so Sheldon, thank you very much. Sheldon, you wanna make your comments?
My concern also was with respect to fenestration, looks like that's being addressed at least on the one side. I don't know what opportunities there might be on the left side elevation.
Hank, do you have any opinions about what's feasible on the left side?
Yeah, I'm like, there's a window here already.
Also, what does NIS mean
Thank you for asking that.
What was the question?
NIS.
on the plan?
The what? I'm sorry?
NIS on the plan.
NIS.
Yeah, it says it on a whole bunch of rooms,
Like
NIS.
first floor plan.
Also on the second,
Not in scale.
not in scale. Really?
Why wouldn't it be in scale?
That doesn't make sense.
What?
It doesn't make sense.
Well, the same with the field measurements, and they all say VIF, which is verified field. So I think they're making an assumption that the verification of the field they have, that the
Right, it's there.
verification
There's a
is
window there.
correct. So these apparently were drawn off a previous set of plans and not measured prior to actually drawing them. Is what I would assume with those two connotations.
There is actually a window in the music room also towards the front there that's not shown on the print also.
I'm sorry, where?
In the music room,
This is music room.
first floor, pardon me?
Isn't that wall existing? You're not
Yes.
changing that wall.
No.
Right, we're not changing, and there is a window already there.
Yeah, there is a
Wait,
window.
so I wanna understand, you're not changing,
Oh, well, there's no wall there.
where are you changing the left side elevation? Where does it begin?
Where the siding meets up in the back.
So we've got a separate window that's on the left side elevation that's not
No.
depicted here.
Yes.
That's not correct. That, it is it's as is. It's, that, as it's shown is correct.
And it's
And the-
between the chimney and the siding, chimney and the corner break?
No,
No,
no, there's nothing.
There's nothing there currently, it's a solid wall.
And
There
you're
is
not
no window.
changing it?
We're not.
So, so the fenestration with the double, by the patio door and then the upper floor window, that's all the fenestration there is on the left side currently?
Yes.
And,
Right.
and everything until the siding is there?
Yes, currently those are all the existing.
Okay.
So, Mr. Chair, for the record, should this gain approval this evening, the plans where they commit for construction will have to be revised to show the additional window that's on the garage side.
Right.
So they'll have an accurate portrayal of what's there.
Yeah.
So that would come in when they do that, so they would have, before they submit the plan, should you give them approval this evening, that, set would have to have that window incorporated. And, as the mayor indicated, that's a 32 by 60 window.
Okay, Sheldon, sorry, again, do you wanna?
Yeah, the only question I had had to do with fenestration, and it looks like, looking at the plans, that the chimney is in the music room?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. All right, and that's an existing,
Existing
Structure.
fireplace, yep.
all right, so
And there's no windows on that side, in that room.
okay, got
Well-
it. There's no changes being made
do this?
there,
Correct.
okay.
Yeah.
Got it, it just does look like a lot of things. Okay. All right, that was my question.
I think it's a massive improvement over what's there. It looks great, from the front, the back. I get the concern about the fenestration, but looking at it, I think what's going on in the front and the back makes up for it. I guess I just have one question out of curiosity. You're doing all this, why not put windows in that music room?
We like to collect art, and that's a wall where we have some big pieces.
Okay. Yeah, I think it looks great.
I can add that
No
at
concerns.
the south side, there's a double, door and then additional windows. And then in the front of the house is a great big window and the lighting is beautiful in that room.
Okay, got it. I think looks great, excited to see it.
And then that wall, those windows would face the neighbor's garage.
Okay, thanks.
Me? So I have a quick question. When I'm looking at the left side elevation, and now I'm looking at the floor plan, there is a door wall of some kind coming out from the sitting area in the kitchen, right here. Is that not shown as,
That's the patio door.
right, but where is it? Oh, it's over
Yeah,
there. Sorry, oh, this is the front. Sorry, I apologize. I'm a little out of it right now.
It's all right.
Okay, so it is there. Okay, so my only comment about the side elevations, I totally get this is a wall that you're not changing. I know why you wanna do it. I know you've got windows on either side, the front and the rear. I wanna go back to the side of the garage. That is a huge expanse, and I know when you were bringing it forward, you were putting 2 windows in. I actually think that when you add that second window, it's still gonna look like a great big old expansive wall along that side. I will tell you, it's actually kinda nice to have light coming into a garage when you're in there and pulling stuff out. Is there any way that you would be okay putting the 2 windows you had originally discussed into that wall along the garage?
Well, I
It's
would.
just a question.
Yeah, I would prefer not to, because that allows us more storage for hanging or for other shelf work that
Right,
we
which
can
you
put
have
in
on the
there.
opposite wall as well. I'm just asking the question.
Yeah, I would prefer not to add another window I mean, there's a window there that's not drawn, we know that.
No, I know that, but that's still a really long expanse. So I'm just questioning that. And what is the neighbor looking into when the neighbor looks out of their house? Do they have a lot of windows on that side of the house? Are they gonna be staring
They're
at
looking
the
at
light wall?
they're looking at an arbor vitae that's about 13 feet tall. They don't see that at all,
Cause they're landscaping blocks and all.
because they're landscaping blocks at all.
Blocks all their own windows.
They literally don't see that entire side whatsoever.
So I understand the concept of the storage, I do understand that. It's just, it's a really, really long wall, and you've got,
What if we put a window in the mudroom to bring the light in the mudroom, which is just,
do you have a window in the mudroom? I thought, isn't that what this window is, the window in the mudroom?
Yeah.
I've looked at it a million times, but then,
I think that this window that is shown on here is the window in the mudroom, because if I look at your mudroom, I believe there's a window right here.
so then there's the two windows on the left wall.
Yeah, that is a
That's the mudroom window.
That's the mudroom window,
Yeah.
so you have a
Yes.
window in the mudroom.
Yes.
Which is great, so you can see what's going on in there. And then you've got a window in the mudroom, and you've got one lone window up toward the front in the garage, so there's only that one window in the garage. Even if you were to put, maybe space them way out, giving you that big expanse in between them to hang stuff on or whatever, it would still make that whole side look more attractive. That's the only comment that I have. Other than that, I think the plans are lovely. I think that you're doing a great job. I like the raised seam roof a lot. I like the cedar lap siding. I think you've done a fantastic job. So, I'm passing the torch.
I agree with Jill about the, need for another window in the garage. And then I'm looking on the left side elevation. You've got, a 40 by 58 case window on the second floor. Any chance you can, mirror that down below on the first floor?
That's the music room.
It's still a music room, yeah.
That's the music room, yeah.
Okay, where the siding is?
So that's currently there or not
Bedroom
currently?
number two, you're speaking of?
You said the 40 by 50?
The 40 by 58 case above and below, it's just blank siding, and then it transitions
Oh,
to
you mean
the
towards the
existing
back of the
brick,
house?
and
Yeah.
then the chimney, and then the area where, you said there's a music room and you don't want a window there. So, but this is towards the front of the house,
So we're looking at the front or the back?
the front of the house, but on the left side elevation.
Front of the house. Right here? Is
You've
this
got
right?
a 40 by 58 case window on the second floor that is encased within your siding and nothing below. And I'm suggesting,
Oh, right here, yeah, that's the music room below that.
Yeah, that's a already existing room, so we were just saying that we did not want to add a window there that
So,
already exists.
I'm sorry, just so we're all clear, I'm a little bit confused as to where the current left side elevation ends.
It's actually from,
Can you just maybe come up here and just draw it?
I believe Martha's asking for a window, which would essentially be in the new dining room at that point.
here,
Is that right, Martha?
yeah, directly below
No,
this,
this
is that
is
still
the
music
music
room?
that's in the music room.
So this exists? This exists?
Here,
The music room is being extended back, right?
No.
Music room's not being touched.
So what is this? Yeah, the siding's throwing you off. That's-
Right, so I'd like to know,
Look at the other side.
Yeah.
here, sir,
Comes off.
You know what you're looking at, Martha? You're looking at this, right here. Where you're talking about this siding?
no, not,
Mm.
I
think
was
you're looking
looking
at
at
this.
here,
Yeah, but I
directly
think-
below this.
yeah, why don't you just draw where the current elevation stops? On the left side.
Just trying to figure out, except if it comes, this is the roof line right here. From here to here is this overhang and this overhang here. And that's the existing chimney. That's the existing bedroom, and this is the music room right below it.
So what's new then?
So then this part is.
This,
set
nothing is new here, except we're gonna replace the windows.
No. Is there anything new on the left side elevation?
No.
So left side elevation is as is?
And this is what this is where,
This is-
this is where it stops right now.
Okay,
And this is
Okay.
And then when we
That's new.
bump out the dining room,
This is the dining
you're
room.
looking at this, but that's,
how many,
flush, it's like, like this.
how many,
Right, so it's set back.
Yes.
So what about a window here to at least relieve some of this?
Yeah, this is unusual to have this, but, I mean, I know most
But,
of
but
it's
this,
new.
but you're looking at
Most of it's
this,
old.
but this is, however, like
15,
20
20 feet
25
over.
feet away,
It's
yeah.
25 feet
Say
away
that
from
again?
the side of the elevation.
This is the side right here.
Okay, right now,
This is the dining room right here,
The,
Yeah.
the
From
proposed
this.
dining room.
right?
which
this-
is set back like 20, say 20 feet from there.
It's like 25 feet.
25 feet.
confused.
Right, but where she drew the window is the music room, right?
Yes.
Yeah, there is
So
no
what's
window.
confusing about this is, on your plans, you say that's gonna be re-bricked corner, but on
I'm confused.
the elevation, you see siding.
So where's this?
That's why it's hard to read
So
this.
that is this right here. So this, which looks like lap siding, is supposed to be this re-bricked corner right
Yes, it's
here.
re-bricked right here without
Right,
coining.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're coining, right?
right,
And
so,
you're re-bricking it, but there it looks like siding.
right.
Oh, so here it's in.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is the dining room, this is still the music room, and this is a wall that they're actually not touching, but it's drawn like lap siding, so
Okay.
you think that it's new.
Okay, so this
But
is
it's
new
not
and
new.
it's moved in,
This
so
is
there's
new,
relief.
and you're looking at this.
Got it,
Yes.
got it,
Okay.
okay. Not
So
clear,
this-
but I get it.
So this window is on the second story
But
in,
that's,
in an existing
Right, it's already there.
section.
Correct.
So it's just that the way that's drawn, this looks like new lap siding as opposed to brick.
I agree with you.
So-
And so Martha assumed that this was something that was being added, that's why I asked, is there an extension to the music room?
how many feet
Right.
added, that jut out inward is there? How much is that?
It's like 5 feet.
5 feet?
That's not your issue. This is, the thing is that this whole thing from this section back here is all still, this is existing,
Right, I get it.
right?
So,
And so this
question.
is currently brick,
Yes.
and that window's already there.
Yes.
And there's no window here currently, but
Correct.
this is not being added, this
Right,
is
we get
nothing
it.
that's being changed.
We get it, so the only question here is whether there should be a window here. Is there enough space for that, I guess?
And
But-
there's windows across the front.
Right,
And there's,
right.
and you're in your porch, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense
right,
to
I
stick
get
a
it,
window
I get
there.
it. Okay, thank you. Okay, Martha? You done?
Looks like it'll be a very interesting change. Look forward to seeing what it looks like.
Is that?
Thank you.
What are these? Fancy new microphones is feeding back.
So, I would say there was one other inconsistency I couldn't figure out. There's one image of the front elevation that shows the left side windows at the far corner, and that's this one. And then there's another image of the front elevation that shows the left side windows centered on that wall.
That's the one it is, it's the
So
center.
this one is correct in that regard?
In the center, cause what we're doing is that center window already exists,
Yep.
and we're just gonna follow that through.
Okay, which one are you looking at? Cause I've got multiple,
So the fixed set
Yeah.
has the correct placement of the left side window in the front elevation, not the,
cause my fix set doesn't actually have the right and left elevation in it, it's got another floor plan in it,
Oh.
so I'm just trying to,
at the very end. The other comment I'm gonna make is I completely agree with the statements about fenestration, however, I do wanna, I think we've said it, but I will reiterate, all those issues appear in existing walls. And I'm hoping we're not changing our stance on trying to require changes to
No.
existing walls. Okay.
I'm not doing it.
So then I have no issue, it's beautiful. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, no comments, thank you very much. I did have comments because, and I'm, as I always say, bad at spatial relations and reading this stuff, but this one was particularly difficult for me. So, thank you for explaining and having the patience. At the same time, if you ever come back here, just try to remember some of the things you heard so there's more clarity at the outset.
Would this PowerPoint presentation have made things easier, Hank, to see what was going on here?
It could have been because you could have, everybody could have been looking at the same thing
Yeah.
at the
Right.
same time.
Yeah.
So apologize
That's
about that.
It is what it is. We understand where we are now. Okay, so does anyone want to make a motion which would clearly require a completed, updated, let's see if we can get through this, set of elevations, because the ones that we have are not complete with the fenestration issue we mentioned. Anyone want to make a motion?
Hank, how do we do that? Do we
You would make it subject to receiving, subject to, upon applying for a building permit, the windows on the left side elevations that were said to be there but corrected would be shown on that plan. And then because of the minutes, I take the plans and check it against what you deemed appropriate, so you would just make it subject to showing an accurate portrayal of the fenestration.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve as presented, as long as we see the appropriate windows, on the, which side is that, left side?
Left
Left.
side, with application for permit.
Right
Sorry,
side,
right
right side.
Right side.
Right side.
Existing window on
Yeah.
the right
Existing
side
window.
that's not been.
Okay, second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Thank you very much.
Do you want these?
When is construction gonna start?
I don't know. Soon.
Okay.
Pretty darn soon, yeah.
I don't want the, I'll take
It is a cool looking house.
Thank you.
Thank
It's
you.
gonna look really,
Yeah, it's gonna
really
be nice
neat.
when it's done.
Yeah.
It's a different concept than the last one, but this should be a fun
It's gonna be
project.
really, really pretty.
Okay, the next item on the agenda tonight is Talbot, 10155.
Did you want prints or no?
Yeah. Might as well get them now because they'll end up in the recycling.
And I apologize, one
I don't know where I did with the other one.
sorry. Slid right off.
Okey doke. Good evening.
Hi, my name is Zach Ostroff, and
Zach.
I drew the plans.
Okay,
I'm here with the homeowner, Andy Davio. I'm gonna go through some of the technical information, and then I'll hand it over to him if you have any questions. Basically, we have an existing two-story house with an addition. It's out in a corner lot, an existing rear addition that's gonna be proposing to tear down and add a new two-story addition that contains a family room, master suite, laundry, and mudroom and kitchen. In terms of the site, we meet all the setbacks, lot coverage, we didn't need any variances. And we've tried to, being that I've been in front of the board before, try to learn from past experiences, and I've made all the, we've kept the brick around the addition to match the existing all the way around. Windows, we've used double hung windows to match the existing. The only places that we haven't are in areas where we need a casement to meet egress. And there's only a couple areas that are denoted as casement windows. And beyond that, the front of the house is existing siding. That's the only area that will remain siding. Everything else will be brick. Dimensional shingles, gonna re-roof the whole entire house. And windows to match existing, basically.
that it, sir?
That's it.
Thank you. Hank?
Thank you, Andy. Basically, this is just a pretty much straightforward addition, and in reality, because he complied with the predominant materials ordinance, he has fenestration on all sides of the elevation. The only reason that this would really be here is that he did extend the house out towards the side lot line further than the existing house. So because of that is the reason that they're here. And apparently by taking a look at the floor plan, they wanted that space for their design of the interior. So it's basically an addition that complies with the standard, or complies with the guidelines, setbacks, roof height, lot coverage, and doesn't have any problems with respect to any of those. The only thing that we did notice was that the projection came out towards the side, towards the lot line. But having said that, they still meet the side yard setbacks. So there's nothing, it doesn't really come out far enough to put a window or anything in it like that. And he's still at least a couple hundred feet below the maximum house size, so. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them, and I'm sure Mr. Ostroff could as well.
What's the, on the front elevation, what material is the siding?
It's wood, I don't know what kind of wood, but
It's like a
painted wood.
wood lap siding.
But it's changing.
It's
Isn't it?
staying, it's existing. That, the front elevation is staying exactly as is, with the exception of the, projection on the right side if you're looking at the elevation.
Got it, okay.
And that's way down, that's, 25 feet down.
Okay, since there's no member of the public here, we won't open and close that. We'll start with Kim.
I do want to say, you know, it's interesting that this home is essentially the same home as the first one we looked at today. And I appreciate that you have both taken different approaches, so they still look very custom and unique. I was just trying to check on the left side elevation, second story, it seems a little, you got the illustration, it seemed a little lopsided on the addition. I don't know if there's an opportunity to add a third window on that upper level or not. Otherwise, I'm fine with it as presented. What is there?
It's a closet. It's a closet.
Is there a cantilever option?
What's cantilever?
It's highlighted in the notes, I didn't see it.
I think it's a non-issue, it's the front existing.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
nothing, yeah.
It's right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which sometimes occurs.
Aaron?
I've got no issue.
I have no issues.
I think everything looks pretty straightforward. How far out is the bump out? From the,
Towards the street,
towards Meadowcrest?
2'9".
Okay, so it's not much.
This paper's 3 feet, so it's just shy of the paper.
Mhm.
Width of the paper.
Okay. I don't have any questions.
Nope, nothing.
No issue, straightforward, looks good.
I'm good.
Good. So, anyone want to make a motion?
I move to approve as presented.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for complying with our standards. Appreciate it. Looking forward to the changes. And that is it, unless there's any member of the public who's not here who wants to participate. So I'll have a motion to adjourn.
Andy, excuse me.
Oh, sorry.
Half a second. There were some of the materials.
Oh,
reading through.
right,
And I know it's not on the agenda.
right.
And I assume, Hank, that that's for future comment or just informational?
Yeah, that was, the FYIs were, that was just so that you had that information you know, so that you could go over it and take a look at it. Mr. Carlisle
I
will
think
be
this is
here
yours
at the
too.
September meeting to kind of go over it and
Have it.
put, like, kind of put it all together for you. So,
Okay.
but we wanted you to have it for
D-
this.
Does anyone want to make a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Any second?
Second.
All those in favor of this motion?
Aye.
All opposed? We are adjourned. Have a good month, everyone.
Thank you.